sure I'm on here. All right. So I want to start with a little activity. It's always good to get the kids up and moving and excited, and I love seeing them gather, right, get up here and get the opportunity to give. But I do have a volunteer today, and I didn't tell him what we were doing, but he said he would do it. So Sean, come on down. Come on, I know. It's his lucky day. Now, yep. Woo, go Sean. By the way, if you have the opportunity, Logan's birthday is today. I know he's over here, so y'all make sure to tell him happy birthday. And also, Brandy, it's great seeing you here. It's so good to see you here. Yeah, you can go ahead and sit down. Now, this is not my only volunteer. He didn't know this. If you are in Kid Street, so this is pre-K through 5th grade, if y'all would come up here real quick. So come on. Pre-K through 5th grade, y'all come up here. So we're going to have a little bit of fun starting off this morning. Oh no. Sean knows what's going to happen. Oh no. All right. So I want y'all's help, okay? Do y'all think y'all can help me? Can y'all take turns? I want y'all to imprison Sean. Do y'all think y'all can do that?
Yes.
Yes? You think you? Oh man. Okay. All right, y'all come over here. Here, let's make a line. Let's make a line. All right. So let's take turns. Y'all get a couple times around. Are you ready? You ready to go? I'm going to hold this in. I'm going to put it on him. All right. Go. Go a couple times around. Here you go. Why don't you take that one? Can you get it started? All right. All right. Here you go. All right. All right. Good job. Next. Good job. After you get done, you can go sit down. Oh, y'all are doing great. Whew. Y'all really got him. Really got him. All right, let's pass it off. Here you go. Go, go, go. All right, pass off. Sean, you just look so thrilled right now. I mean, you are just having the time of your life. All right, pass it off. All right, Sai, get it. Walk around. Here, walk around. All right, good job. Whew. You know what? The kids may not remember anything else, but they're going to remember wrapping him up. So, all right. Man, there's a lot of y'all this morning. Okay. All right, here you go. Here you go. Ooh. I dropped it. How could I? All right, we almost got everyone. How you feeling, Sean? You feeling pretty trapped right now? Yeah. I'm really surprised they haven't gone for like bigger, like your face or anything, which I was going to tell them not to. But I just really assumed someone was just going to go right for the face. All right. And we got 2 more after this. Y'all are doing great. Yep, it's looking good. All right. Are y'all 2 ready? Y'all come over here. Are you ready? All right, here you go. Take it. Y'all get to finish it off, all right? Get them real good. I like the Christmas colors too. I know that's not technically the season, but it's really festive. There you go. You're doing great. Good job. Get it one more time, just for good measure. Whoop. There you go. All right. Y'all did awesome. Thank y'all so much. Let's give all the kids a round. All right, Sean, here you go. I'm going to tuck it in here so it doesn't fall off. I can't have that happen. All right. You're imprisoned. Good job. All right, guys, so I wanted to tell y'all a little story. So, have y'all ever had dreams? Anyone have some dreams? And I don't mean like the ones at night. I'm talking more like things that you want to accomplish. I think we've all been there. Sometimes dreams don't go quite like we want it. And that's just sometimes, actually, I think often that's the reality. Y'all might know, I have been really into elk hunting, right? So this is something, it's been like I've kind of thrown myself into this. I've actually gone out quite a few times. And this is what I imagine, okay? So if y'all know what this is, So this is a cow call. All right, so this is what I imagine has happened. This is what I dream, is I'm making the 10, 11-hour drive to get where I'm going. The entire time, this is what I'm thinking about, okay? So I'm going to do this, and then right? That's the dream, okay? That's the dream. That's what's going on in my mind. Now, why don't you go ahead and go to the next picture, because this is the reality, okay, guys? I had a really interesting experience this last year, because I drove all the way to Chama, and I stayed in Chama, and I drove the extra. That morning, I got up, drove the hour and a half to the trailhead, got there before first light so that I could get on the trail and start hunting. And I had this brilliant idea. I had this dream. I've looked at the maps, and I'm like, okay, if I can get up and over that, on the other side, there's like a lot of good habitat. Like, this is just going to be perfect. And so what do? I get there, and I do this. Just to give you all an idea, kind of where it starts to get real steep there, it's about probably about 1,000 to 1,100 feet in about the span of a mile. Okay, so it is steep. Okay, it is steep. And so I get up and I do this. Okay, so I get up there and I do that. Now go to the next one. And I get on the other side, and then I do that. Okay, so this is following the trail of where I went. I go down, come back around. You can go ahead and hit the next one. So this is when I was going up. Here's some of the deadfall that I ran into. And you're like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. Let me tell you, those trees are about this big, okay? So this is the stuff I was crawling over. This was not like a let's go on a trail hiking kind of thing. In fact, it was mostly you switch back, and then you realize I have to go back the other direction. I'm actually going across this log, and I'm about 6-7 feet up in the air because it was the only way to get across the deadfall. Haley is always worried about me because I do maybe a little sketchy things. And then the next one, you can see some of the steepness. Beautiful picture, but you can see the steepness. So when I said I went down and around, this is what I went down and back around in. And I did all this, and I was like, okay, I found a place. I'm going to set up camp. And so I set up my tent, and everything was good. I'm like in this little meadow. And I kid y'all not, I walk to go just kind of glass the side of the mountain, and I start walking after I set up my tent, put down all my stuff. 100 yards from where I set up my tent was a guide camp. And so I did all this work, right? I had all the, I was like, this is it. I do all this work all day. It's like 5 o'clock. I have an hour left of light. Not to mention, I didn't say this, I had to pray that I found water because I got over there and realized, oh no, there's no water. I did find some, but I was 100 yards from my guide camp. Now, they were not actively there, but they had just left. And everything that I had dreamed of just didn't happen. I mean, you can show that picture again. It's funny, there's supposed to be a circle on there that showed it, but you can kind of see the end of that dot is where I ended up. And in those trees just to the left of me was this camp. And so sometimes we have these dreams, we have these expectations, and it doesn't work out the way that we want. You know, there's someone in Genesis who has dreams and expectations, and they don't quite turn out the way that I think he thought that they would. And so we see in Genesis chapter 37, we see the story of Joseph. And this is what it says. Let's see. Now, Israel loved Joseph more than any other of his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he had made him a long robe with sleeves, but when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Once Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream that I dreamed. There we were, binding sheaves in the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, and then your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers said to him, "Are you indeed going to reign over us? Are you indeed going to have dominion over us?" So they hated him even more because of his dreams and his words. And he had another dream and told it to his brothers, saying, "Look, I have another dream. The sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. But when he told it to his father and his brothers, his father rebuked him and said to him, "What kind of dream is this that you have had? Shall we indeed come, I and your mother and your brothers, and bow to the ground before you?" So his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Now, I don't know about you guys. I think of Joseph, and in reality, do any of y'all have younger siblings? You got the younger siblings? You're not the baby in the family? Who do you think got more attention in your house? The baby in the family, right? It's kind of a complex. I was a younger child too. There's this kind of thing. You're the younger one, you get special treatment. And Joseph was no different. He got special treatment. Joseph, at times, he kind of comes across a little arrogant. When he had these dreams, what do you think he expected to happen? I mean, really, what do you think he expected to happen? He had these dreams. He believed they are from God. Do you think that he thought his life was going to be pretty easy? I think he did. I think he thought his life was going to be pretty easy, except maybe a little bit in his arrogance, a little bit of not reading the situation well. We know the story, right? What happens next? His brothers throw him in a pit. They're going to kill him until Judah's like, "Whoa, hold on, guys. Hold on." But then they sell him into slavery, right? Is it Judah or Reuben? Should have brushed up on that. But he's sold into slavery. Is that how you start this story, this dream? Is that how you get there? It's not. And then, not only that, you could maybe say that a little bit of, are you okay over there? Oh, he's good. He's good. You could say that a little bit of that might have been partially his fault, Maybe he didn't handle his brothers in the best way. But then you have him go to Egypt, right? He gets in Potiphar's house. He rises up, and he's in charge of Potiphar's house, right? And then you have what happened? Potiphar's wife, right? Now, the brothers might have been a little bit his fault. I'm not saying all his fault, but right, he had a part to play there. But with Potiphar's wife, it had nothing to do with him, right? I mean, it had everything to do with him, but he did nothing. He did nothing wrong. And yet, now, not only is he a slave in Egypt, but he's in prison. When things don't go our way, how do we react to those things? I don't think we react very well, do we? Most of the time we throw a big stink, we throw a fit. My daughter is growing into this. It's rather upsetting. But she'll get there and she'll raise her hands up like this and she'll start stomping her feet like that, and she throws a little baby fit, and then she throws herself on the ground and kicks the ground. I don't know where she got it. But man, it's just got to be genetic. I don't know. It's just in there somewhere. But she knows how to throw a fit. And we laugh, but don't we do that? Things don't go our way, and we like to stomp our feet, throw our hands in the air, throw ourselves on the ground. And we may not literally do those things, but we do them, right? It's a reaction. Last week we talked about thriving in the unknown, thriving in change, right? And the fact that in change there's only two reactions. Do you remember what they were? One is faith. And what's the opposite of faith? Fear. You either got faith or you have fear. There's only two reactions. Guys, Joseph found himself, I think, in some unfair situations. Guys, when things don't go our way, because sometimes they don't, They do not go the way that we imagined. Sometimes it's consequences for maybe the way we acted, but often, right, there are things that happen in our life that are outside of our control and we cannot explain. And the attitude that we choose in that moment is everything. Joseph could have been sold into slavery and just thrown his hands up and been like, whatever, I'm done. After Potiphar, he could have thrown his hands up and said, you know what, I'm done. That's it. Like, I quit. I'm not going to try anymore. Attitude is everything. You know, and as we look at the story, I think perspective matters a lot because we look and we see, and I don't know, maybe, I think when I was growing up, I thought that maybe God was causing these things to happen to Joseph. And the older I've gotten, the more I've studied. I really don't think that's the case. You know, God says that he works for the good of those who love him. And, you know, we know God works in bad situations. You know, we have an enemy that wants to destroy us. I think the enemy knew what God had in store for Joseph. And whether it was this way or another way, God's vision, God's will was going to be complete. That dream was going to be fulfilled no matter what happened. And Satan was trying to do everything he could to keep Joseph from getting there. He was. You know, as I want to jump forward a little bit. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. You'll probably have heard this before. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. And no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel basket, but they put it on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Let me ask you all a question. How many of y'all really feel like light? I mean, do y'all really feel that? Maybe a little bit. I mean, if we're not feeling it, we need to get some perspective here. We need to be really looking at this. We should be feeling like light. And now here's the hard one, okay? Where is light the most effective? Y'all can say it. Darkness. Light is most effective in the dark. Sean, why haven't you moved? You're just doing good. It's because, yeah. Could you get out? Show me. Woo! Look at those muscles. I mean, yeah. Sean, you can go sit down. Thank you for participating. Guys, it's just like that. We have hardships in our life. We have things. Satan is trying to tear us down. And we sit in a chair bound by things that have no control over the person we put our trust in. Right? We see these things that wrap us up and bind us. They shackle us. And we allow them to do that. We allow ourselves to be slaves to our situation. But Jesus, none of these things can hold us, can they? None of these things can hold us. They fall away at the name of Jesus. Now, does that mean it's easy? Absolutely not. Joseph's life is not easy. It isn't. In fact, it's really hard. And if we want to really look in the Bible at the stories of the people who follow God, most of them, they're not easy stories. There's a lot of difficulty. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurt. But God is faithful. God is faithful. You know, at the beginning of Matthew chapter 5, we look at these sometimes. I just want to read them real fast. The Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Guys, I'm going to tell you, those first four, those aren't necessarily the greatest things ever, are they? That last one, if you are hungry and thirsty, what does that mean? You're missing something, right? You're searching, you're looking. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Guys, these are a reality of kingdom living, not sometime in the future, but right now. It says right there, there's going to be persecution. There's going to be hardship. The enemy is coming after us. It wants to make us have an attitude that is full of despair, anger, asking that question, why me? But we're called to be light. We're called to be light in the midst of darkness. And there is darkness. We see it every day. But even still, we're called to be light. Guys, that's what it looks like to thrive in hardship. It is not having all the right answers. It is not God magically making everything better. It is believing that God is faithful. And believing that He's going to see you through to the other side, whether in this life or the next. And to shine that faithfulness, when I say that faithfulness, your own faithfulness, to shine that, to show that to a world that is full of despair, that is full of darkness. You know, it started with my dream of elk hunting. The reality is I actually went twice this last year, and none of it went the way I want. Guys, we need to be thinking about what dream we have. What's our dream? What's our dream for our church? What's your dream for your spiritual life? For your relationship with God? Because I don't think we think about it on that terms. We don't look ahead necessarily like that. We're just trying to hold on, and yet God wants more. What's your dream? Let's get that in our mind, knowing that God is faithful. And then let's put on that right attitude. Because again, like with last week, it's either faith or fear. There's only two types of attitudes we can have. Either a good one or a bad one. And our attitude is everything. And so I want to challenge you guys, not only as our faith community here as we kind of go through change, but guys, in your own lives. Be a light. Be a light. Know that there's darkness, but be a light. And if you don't know Jesus, if you haven't received that blessing, that life, the power to let go of everything that holds us captive because of his power. Today's a great day to do that. I know the water's ready. You can put him on in baptism. But really today, it's more about those that have been doing this for a while. Because it's really easy for our attitude to go sour. It's really easy to have a bad attitude about church and about community and about faith and just get in a rut. This morning, you want a fresh start. If you want to recognize that maybe God wants something more in your life than what you have right now, now's the time for you to come ask for prayers, to come be surrounded by a community of fallen people who are lights in the dark, not because of how good we are, but because of how good he is. If you have any need, won't you come while we stand and sing?